What if I told you that your entire future, your dreams, your health, your relationships, your success is not decided someday, but today, not next year, not next week, not even tomorrow? Every choice you make today is quietly shaping the person you are becoming. You see, most people overestimate the power of one defining moment and underestimate the power of consistent daily action. But what if the secret to an extraordinary life was hidden in the ordinary 24 hours you have right now? In Today Matters, John C. Maxwell unveils a powerful truth. Your success is not built in a day, it is built daily. This book is not about managing your time. It is about managing your life. Maxwell argues that the gap between average and exceptional people lies in their daily decisions, the habits, thoughts, and priorities they choose every single day. He reveals 12 daily practices that, when mastered, can turn an ordinary day into a masterpiece and create a lifetime of meaning, growth, and fulfillment. Chapter 1. Today often falls to pieces. What is the missing piece? Have you ever ended your day feeling busy, yet strangely unfulfilled, like you did 100 things, but none of them truly mattered? John Maxwell calls this the illusion of productivity. You move fast, but in the wrong direction, and slowly the days that could have built your dream life slip away, one distracted moment at a time. In this opening chapter, Maxwell reveals the uncomfortable truth. Most people never reach their potential because they never plan their days with purpose. They react to life instead of directing it. The missing piece, he says, is intentional living. You cannot drift into success. You must decide every morning what truly matters and commit to it before the world's noise pulls you off track. The quality of your tomorrow depends entirely on what you do today. He reminds us that no one has ever improved their life accidentally. Every achievement is the result of daily choices, not dramatic events. And when you make today your masterpiece, you automatically create momentum toward a better future. But how do you actually transform an ordinary day into a masterpiece? The answer begins with mastering the one thing that shapes your entire outlook on life: your attitude. Chapter 2. Today can become a masterpiece. Imagine waking up every morning and knowing that today has the potential to change everything, not through luck, but through the way you approach it. Maxwell believes each day carries the seed of greatness, waiting for you to shape it intentionally. This chapter is a mindset shift. Maxwell explains that most people live on autopilot, waiting for someday to start improving their lives. But those who achieve greatness see each sunrise as a fresh opportunity to build character, strengthen discipline, and act on their purpose. He says, you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. It is not about trying to be perfect, but about showing up with the intention to grow, contribute, and make a difference even in small ways. Maxwell calls it living with daily significance. When you treat each day as a masterpiece, you stop postponing joy, stop waiting for the weekend, and begin crafting a life you are proud of, one decision at a time. But what determines whether your day becomes a masterpiece or a mess? It starts with the lens through which you see the world, your attitude. And in the next chapter, Maxwell shows how today's attitude can unlock unlimited possibilities. Chapter 3. Today's attitude gives me possibilities. Have you ever noticed that two people can face the same situation? One sees a wall, the other sees a doorway. The difference is not in the circumstance. It is in the attitude. Maxwell believes that your attitude is the paintbrush that colors your entire day. And if you choose the wrong color, even a perfect canvas can look dull. In this chapter, Maxwell dismantles one of the biggest myths in personal growth, that attitude is something you either have or you do not. He argues that attitude is a choice, not a trait. Every morning, you can decide whether you will let the day control you or you will control your response to it. He explains that your attitude determines your altitude. People with a positive, proactive mindset see possibilities where others see problems. They bounce back faster, learn quicker, and attract better opportunities simply because they carry an energy that lifts everything around them. Maxwell offers a practical formula. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always control what happens in you. The more responsibility you take for your mood, reactions, and outlook, the more power you gain over your results. But even with the right attitude, energy without direction can still lead to chaos. So how do you focus that energy on what truly matters? The next chapter reveals how setting daily priorities turns purpose into progress. Chapter 4. Today's priorities give me focus. Have you ever felt like your day just disappeared, filled with activity, but empty of achievement? Maxwell says the reason is simple. If you do not set your priorities, someone else will set them for you. This chapter is about focus, the art of saying no to the good so you can say yes to the great. Maxwell shares his rule of 5, the idea that every day you must identify a few vital actions that directly move you toward your goals and do them consistently. He emphasizes that success is not determined by how much you do, but by what you choose to do. People lose momentum not because they lack time, but because they spend their energy on the unimportant. Maxwell recommends a simple question to guide your day. What is the most important thing I can do today that will have the greatest impact on my future? By aligning your daily schedule with your long-term vision, every action becomes meaningful. You stop chasing distractions and start building direction. But even when your attitude is right and your priorities are clear, none of it matters if your body does not support your mission. In the next chapter, Maxwell uncovers how your health fuels everything you want to achieve. Chapter 5. Today's health gives me strength. What if your dreams depended not just on your mindset but on your energy? You can have purpose, passion, and plans, but if your body lacks vitality, your vision will slowly fade. Maxwell reminds us, you cannot run at full speed on an empty tank. In this chapter, Maxwell reframes health as a leadership principle, not a luxury. He believes that taking care of your body is not selfish, it is strategic. Your body is the vehicle that carries your purpose, and neglecting it limits how far you can go. He explains that great achievements are built on consistent physical strength, emotional stability, and mental clarity, all fueled by daily health habits. Maxwell identifies 3 key disciplines: eating wisely, exercising regularly, and resting intentionally. He also highlights the ripple effect, how physical health affects emotional resilience and decision-making. Good health is not about perfection. It is about consistency. The small choices, skipping soda, walking instead of scrolling, sleeping instead of stressing, compound into the strength to pursue what truly matters. But strength means little without stability, and the foundation of every stable life does not come from achievements, it comes from relationships. The next chapter explores how your family gives you the balance that success alone can never provide. Chapter 6. Today's family gives me stability. In the pursuit of success, many people climb the ladder of achievement only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Maxwell says, if you fail at family, you fail at life. No amount of money or fame can replace the warmth, trust, and belonging that comes from your home. This chapter is a heart-level reminder that success begins with the people closest to you. Maxwell believes that family is the emotional anchor that keeps you grounded when storms come. Your career may give you recognition, but your family gives you meaning. He encourages readers to invest time, attention, and love daily, not just when it is convenient. Maxwell shares that relationships do not maintain themselves. They require intentional care. Simple habits, listening fully, expressing gratitude, showing affection build emotional security that strengthens every other part of life. He also warns about the illusion of quality time. He says you cannot schedule quality time. It happens during quantity time. The more time you spend together, the more opportunities for genuine connection arise. But once your relationships are strong, how do you elevate your thinking to lead your life forward? The next chapter reveals how sharpening your mind daily gives you a permanent advantage over those who live reactively. Chapter 7. Today's thinking gives me an advantage. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to find solutions where others see dead ends? The answer lies in how they think. John Maxwell says, "You cannot rise above the level of your thinking. Every major breakthrough in life begins first in the mind." In this chapter, Maxwell teaches that intentional thinking separates average performers from extraordinary ones. Most people live on mental autopilot, reacting to problems instead of designing solutions. Successful people, however, carve out time daily to think, to reflect, to evaluate, and to imagine better possibilities. He outlines several types of thinking: strategic thinking for planning, creative thinking for innovation, and reflective thinking for learning from experience. The key is to make thinking a habit, not an accident. Maxwell reminds us that your life expands or contracts based on the size of your thoughts. When you discipline yourself to think deeply rather than constantly react, you stop being a prisoner of urgency and start becoming an architect of your future. He offers a golden principle: what you think determines what you believe. What you believe determines what you achieve. But even the best ideas mean nothing without the will to act on them. So how do you stay persistent when motivation fades and challenges hit? The next chapter unlocks the secret weapon of achievers' commitment. Chapter 8. Today's commitment gives me tenacity. Everyone loves the idea of success until it demands sacrifice. Maxwell says, motivation gets you started, but commitment keeps you going. The real test of success is not how you begin. It is what you do after the excitement disappears. This chapter dives into the power of tenacity. Commitment, Maxwell explains, is not a feeling, it is a decision to stay the course even when emotions waver. He illustrates how commitment multiplies your momentum. The moment you decide that quitting is no longer an option, your creativity, resourcefulness, and discipline all rise to meet the challenge. He shares stories of leaders and athletes who reached greatness not because they were the most talented, but because they refused to give up. Maxwell defines commitment as staying true to your word long after the feeling in which you made it has passed. He offers a practical tip: review your goals daily and remind yourself why you started. The why keeps you going when the how gets hard, but commitment alone cannot buy freedom. You also need resources, and how you manage them determines your future options. In the next chapter, Maxwell reveals how mastering your finances gives you control over your destiny. Chapter 9. Today's finances give me options. Imagine waking up every day with the freedom to choose what truly matters to you, not what your bills demand. Financial peace is not about wealth. It is about options. And John Maxwell shows how the seeds you plant with money today determine the harvest of freedom you reap tomorrow. In this chapter, Maxwell flips the script on how we view money. He says money should be your servant, not your master. But for most people, it is the opposite. They are trapped by poor financial habits, spending emotionally, borrowing unnecessarily, and failing to save. He shares a simple yet powerful formula: earn, save, spend, not the other way around. Most people spend first, save what's left, and dream of freedom that never comes. But the compound effect of financial discipline starts small, one decision at a time. Maxwell highlights the principle of delayed gratification, the art of saying no today for a bigger yes tomorrow. He emphasizes creating a budget, tracking expenses, and prioritizing needs over wants. Financial success is never an overnight win. It is built through consistent, boring, disciplined choices that build momentum over time. He also introduces the concept of the Freedom Fund, a portion of income you save regularly that represents your power to say no to things that don't align with your purpose. This fund is your safety net, your opportunity chest, your independence fuel. So ask yourself, are you controlling your money, or is your money quietly controlling you? Because the answer determines whether your future is built on freedom or on fear. Chapter 10. Today's faith gives me peace when the storms of life hit, when uncertainty, fear, and failure surround you. What keeps you grounded? John Maxwell's answer is clear: faith. Today's faith gives you peace, not because it removes challenges, but because it gives meaning to them. Maxwell defines faith as confidence in what you hope for and assurance about what you cannot see. It is not blind optimism. It is the lens that helps you interpret chaos with calm. Faith gives today a foundation. It helps you act, not react. He explains that people who lack faith live by sight. They wait for proof, for comfort, for guarantees. But leaders and achievers live by belief. They see before it happens. Faith turns confusion into clarity and fear into focus. Maxwell shares that nurturing faith is like exercising a muscle. You grow it daily through prayer, reflection, gratitude, and positive expectation. Even small acts of belief, trusting in your purpose, giving when it's hard, forgiving when it's painful, compound into unshakable peace. He also warns that without faith, your life's direction becomes reactive. You live by circumstances instead of conviction. Faith reorients you every day, reminding you that your story is bigger than your struggles. So the question is, will you let fear shape your tomorrow, or will you let faith define your today? Chapter 11. Today's relationships give me fulfillment. What if your greatest source of happiness has nothing to do with money, success, or achievements, but with the people around you? John Maxwell reminds us that life's richest rewards are found in relationships, not in results. Maxwell explains that fulfillment does not come from things, it comes from connection. No matter how talented, wealthy, or busy you are, if your relationships are weak, your joy will always feel incomplete. He divides relationships into 3 types: those who add value to you, mentors, friends, and encouragers who help you grow; those you add value to, people you guide, serve, and uplift; those who drain your energy, toxic individuals who pull you away from your values. Maxwell's advice is clear: spend more time with the first 2 and set boundaries with the third. He introduces the principle of intentional investment. Meaningful relationships don't just happen, they are built. That means listening with empathy, expressing appreciation daily, and showing up when it matters most. He also says the fastest way to improve any relationship is to focus on what you can give, not what you can get. Fulfillment flows naturally when your goal is not to impress people but to impact them. Maxwell summarizes it beautifully: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So ask yourself, are you collecting people for your comfort or connecting with them for their growth? Chapter 12. Today's generosity gives me significance. We live in a world obsessed with getting, but those who live extraordinary lives understand a secret truth: the more you give, the more alive you become. Maxwell opens this chapter with a timeless principle: you can't take it with you, but you can leave it behind. Generosity is not about money. It's about mindset. It's about realizing that everything you have is a tool to make life better for others. He explains that true significance starts when you stop asking, "What can I gain?" and start asking, "What can I give?" Generous people live with abundance because they believe there is always more to share: more love, more opportunities, more ideas, more hope. Maxwell describes 3 levels of giving: giving by impulse, emotional, reactive giving when moved by a story; giving by intention, planned giving aligned with your values; giving by identity, when generosity becomes who you are. He urges readers to move toward the 3rd level, where giving is not an event but a lifestyle. When you give, you create ripples of influence that outlast your name. You make your life count. Generosity, Maxwell says, is the bridge from success to significance. Success is about what you achieve for yourself. Significance is about what you give to others. At the end of your life, people will not remember what you earned, they will remember what you gave. So, what legacy are you building today? Chapter 13. Today's values give me direction. Have you ever felt lost not because you lacked goals, but because you weren't sure which path was right for you? John Maxwell says this confusion stems from one thing: unclear values. Without them, every opportunity looks tempting and every distraction feels urgent. Maxwell defines values as the invisible compass that keeps you moving in the right direction, especially when life gets chaotic. He says, your choices reflect your values more than your words ever will. Values are what hold you steady when emotions rise, when pressure mounts, or when shortcuts appear. When your values are clear, your decisions become easier, not because life is simple, but because you already know what matters most. Maxwell suggests defining your top 5 core values, principles you would never compromise, no matter the reward or risk. These could be integrity, compassion, growth, faith, or excellence. Once you identify them, use them as filters for every major decision. He also warns that values drift happens silently when you gradually start accepting things that once went against your principles. To prevent this, Maxwell urges you to perform a daily values check. Did I act according to what I believe? Did I choose comfort over character? Did my actions align with who I want to become? He says that direction doesn't come from speed. It comes from clarity. Knowing your values keeps you from wasting time climbing the wrong mountain. And once your direction is clear, the only thing left is to grow strong enough to keep climbing. That's where the next chapter begins. Chapter 14. Today's growth gives me potential. If you stopped learning today, how long would it take before your success stopped growing too? John Maxwell insists that personal growth is not optional, it is the fuel that keeps your potential alive. Maxwell begins by saying, you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. This chapter takes that quote to its core: daily growth. Not once a year resolutions, but consistent habits that make you a little better every day. He compares growth to compound interest, small deposits of learning, reflection, and practice that accumulate into massive transformation over time. Most people wait for growth to happen. Maxwell says growth must be pursued intentionally. He outlines the growth gap traps, reasons people delay personal development. Assumption gap: I assume I'll automatically grow. Knowledge gap: I don't know how to grow. Timing gap: it's not the right time to start. Mistake gap: I'm afraid of failing. Inspiration gap: I don't feel like doing it. Maxwell's solution is to choose discipline over motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline builds momentum. He also emphasizes surrounding yourself with people who stretch you, not those who settle with you. Growth flourishes in environments of challenge, feedback, and curiosity. Finally, he says, the moment you stop growing, you start dying. Personal growth is what transforms potential into power and talent into triumph. The journey of becoming your best self starts today, not someday. The question is, will you commit to growing daily or keep waiting for the perfect time that never comes? Chapter 15. Today matters. What if, at the end of your life, you realized that everything you were chasing, the success, the recognition, the wealth, was actually built on just one thing: how you chose to live today? John Maxwell concludes his timeless lesson with a simple yet profound message. Today matters more than any other day of your life. In this final chapter, Maxwell reminds us that while we cannot control the past or predict the future, we can control the choices we make today. And those choices, repeated consistently, shape the story of our lives. He brings back the heart of the book, the 12 daily practices, and urges us to live each day with purpose, discipline, and gratitude. because every day you neglect becomes a lost opportunity, and every day you honor becomes a stepping stone to greatness. Maxwell writes, "The secret of your success is determined by your daily agenda. It is not the dramatic moments that define you. It is the quiet discipline to do what matters when no one is watching." He encourages readers to focus on what they can do today, not what they wish they had done yesterday. How they can serve others now, not someday. How to live with intention, not by default. Every today is a blank page, a chance to rewrite your future before it arrives. And as Maxwell closes, he leaves you with this question: if today truly determines who you become tomorrow, how will you live it? Final thoughts: at its core, Today Matters is a wake-up call. It reminds you that greatness is not waiting for the perfect day, it is built one imperfect day at a time. Every small act of focus, gratitude, learning, and faith compounds into a future you can be proud of. So do not wait for motivation, do not wait for tomorrow. Start today, because your future self is watching, waiting, and hoping. You will begin right now. If this book summary inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because the next video might just be the one that transforms how you live every single day.